All right, gather round the campfire, everyone, for a truly remarkable and somewhat unbelievable tale. This is the story of how, for a brief moment in history, PepsiCo, the famous soft drink company, found itself in possession of what could be considered the sixth largest military in the world. Our story begins during the Cold War, a time of intense rivalry and tension between the United States and the Soviet Union. In the late 1950s and early 1960s, both superpowers were eager to showcase their cultural and technological achievements to the world. As part of these efforts, the United States and the Soviet Union agreed to host cultural exchange events, allowing each side to demonstrate their way of life. In 1959, the American National Exhibition was held in Sokolniki Park, Moscow. This exhibition was a significant event featuring various displays of American culture, technology, and consumer goods. One of the highlights of the exhibition was the kitchen debate between then U.S. Vice President Richard Nixon and Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev, where they discussed the merits of capitalism versus communism in a model American kitchen. Amidst the displays and debates, one particular encounter would lead to an unexpected twist in history. Enter Donald M. Kendall, the president of Pepsi-Cola International. Kendall was a shrewd businessman with a keen eye for opportunity. He seized the moment to introduce Khrushchev to Pepsi, offering him a cold, refreshing cup of the cola. Khrushchev reportedly enjoyed the beverage, and the image of the Soviet leader sipping Pepsi became an iconic symbol of American cultural influence. Fast forward to the 1970s, and the relationship between Pepsi and the Soviet Union had grown. By this time, Pepsi had managed to secure an exclusive deal to sell its cola in the USSR. However, there was a significant problem. The Soviet ruble was not a freely convertible currency, meaning it couldn't be easily exchanged on the international market. This posed a challenge for Pepsi, as they needed a way to be paid for their products. The solution came in the form of a barter agreement. In 1972, Pepsi and the Soviet Union struck a unique deal. The Soviets agreed to trade Stolichnaya vodka for Pepsi syrup. This arrangement allowed both parties to benefit. The Soviets could enjoy Pepsi, and Pepsi could sell the imported vodka in the United States, turning a profit. The success of this barter agreement led to its renewal in the late 1980s, but on a much larger scale. By this time, the Soviets were keen to expand the deal. However, they needed to offer something else of value in exchange for an increased supply of Pepsi. What they offered next was truly extraordinary: a fleet of naval warships. In 1989, Pepsi and the Soviet Union finalized a new barter agreement which included 17 submarines, a cruiser, a frigate, and a destroyer. This fleet of decommissioned Soviet naval vessels was valued at approximately $3 billion. For a brief moment, this acquisition technically made PepsiCo the owner of one of the largest naval fleets in the world, certainly larger than that of many nations. Of course, Pepsi had no intention of becoming a maritime power. The company quickly arranged to sell the ships for scrap to a Swedish company. The deal allowed Pepsi to continue expanding its presence in the Soviet market while turning a profit from the sale of the naval vessels. Reflecting on the deal, Donald Kendall famously quipped to Brent Scowcroft, the national security advisor to President George H.W. Bush, "We're disarming the Soviets faster than you are."